Hi Hannah, so I watched your video about courageous conversations about race, and I definitely agreed with a lot of the points you made, so this is my response. Um, I definitely agree that talking about race in class is important. I know we've had a lot of really good conversations and eye-opening conversations in our TE 448 class, and I think that everyone should have some type of experience like this where we can just openly talk about race and ask these questions and stuff. And the first point you made is that silence does not mean that you're disengaged. And I definitely agree with this too. You said a lot of times you stay silent, and um, and I stay silent too sometimes, and it just means that I'm thinking, like I'm thinking about the subject or what people are saying, and I haven't necessarily come to a conclusion yet in my mind, so I don't want to say it out loud yet. I thought that your idea for group involvement was a great idea. Sometimes just breaking people into smaller groups and having these conversations can make it a more comfortable space to talk about. And talking versus writing, you said that talking was probably better than writing down your opinions, and I think that there's pros and cons to both. Talking is more informal, so you get a lot more fluid conversation and bouncing ideas off each other, which is always great and which is what works really well in our class. But if you do have shyer students who are afraid to speak up, writing might be good too, and then maybe having a response to that writing and to kind of do it that way, which might take a little longer, but if you have some shyer students, writing might still be some benefits. The trapeze artist metaphor I think is great because there is that kind of unsure moment when you're waiting for yourself to like make a decision about something, and just very uncomfortable, but worth it in the end. And I definitely agreed when you were talking about asking questions and just not being afraid to ask questions, because we are always gaining more knowledge, and especially about race, we only know our own experiences. So to be in a class or a space where we can talk about race and get each other's experiences, and I don't think we should be afraid to admit that we don't know something and to just learn from the people around us. And your last point was about lack of closure, and I think we definitely experienced this in our class just because a lot of people, I don't know, we all have very different opinions about things, and we're not always going to agree, and we're not always going to come to an agreement. So I definitely agree that it's important to have a facilitator there to just kind of keep the peace and not really make a final decision or a final say on something, but to just keep it so that everyone is okay with their own opinions and not at each other's throats about any certain topic. Overall, I thought your review of the article, or your thoughts on the article, was really great, and learned a lot.